And we've got Q Myers on, who talks Raiders for the Locked On Raiders podcast and Raider Nation Radio. Q, good morning. It's Jeremy and Nate. Glad you're one time zone closer, so we can make this happen.
Well, hey, look, for you guys, we can make it happen anyway. It don't matter if I was on the West Coast. I'd get up early for you guys. It's all good, man. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Well, thanks for coming on. We're trying to find a way here in Buffalo to, bolster the Bills, give the reigning MVP. We're just trying that on for a little while now. The reigning MVP a little more help. And Maxx Crosby's name's come up the same way Myles Garrett's name's come up. He's out there doing the rounds, talking about wanting to win. Q, do you think the Raiders are of a mind to want to maybe do a rebuild and send him away if, in fact, the right price could be paid?
I don't think they do, and the reason I say that, and look, we all know what it is. It's the NFL. We know how things could change quick, fast, and in a hurry, but he doesn't have any guaranteed money on his contract, so I've gone into this whole offseason thinking, well, anything is possible. I mean, right, they've got to work out the contract situation, but they also have to work out the plan. They also have to tell him this is what it's going to be, because as we heard that sound coming in, he wants to win. He's the ultimate competitor. He sat down and joined me on ESPN yesterday and was talking about wanting to win, and we actually discussed the Myles Garrett situation. He said, look, we're basically in the same situation, right? He's the best, one of the best in the league at what he does. I'm one of the best in the league in what I do, and he's not winning, and I'm not winning, and he's had 5 coaches since 2021, and so there's reasons to kind of put them on the same page, but as you guys mentioned, he hasn't come out and said he wanted any kind of a trade. He also hasn't come out and said that he doesn't want to go anywhere, right? So, look, I say all that, and I know it's a long-winded answer to the question, but I just think that if they get the right offer, it might be a discussion. I don't think that they want to move him. They shouted him out at the opening press conference with Pete Carroll and John Spytek saying that they want competitors. They want guys like Maxx Crosby. They pointed him out. He was at the press conference. So they're saying all the right things, and I know he's mentioned the contract multiple times, so that's got to get worked out, and ultimately the plan on how they're going to become a winner has got to be worked out because, as you heard him say, he wants to win. He wants to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that plan comes with, of course, a new coach. And what is the plan at quarterback? Where are they at quarterback? Is this a potential landing spot for Kirk Cousins, a Sam Darnold, and Aaron Rodgers? Russell Wilson, I guess, is a name I should throw out there as well. Because any plan is going to start, of course, with coach and quarterback.
Right, exactly. I think there's all options are on the table right now. I mean, we know that the draft is not a very strong quarterback class. I believe that everyone in Vegas is a pretty high on Shedeur Sanders. I think that Tom Brady would love to see Shedeur Sanders in Vegas, but I don't know if they're able to get him, right? I mean, they're sitting there picking at number 6 overall, and even then I don't think he's ready to start right away. So then who's your bridge quarterback? And there's been conversations about Sam Darnold. There's conversations about Kirk Cousins, as you mentioned, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. Any of those quarterbacks, I think, could potentially be that bridge guy. Now, I wouldn't make Sam Darnold a bridge guy because I think he's going to want big-time money after the season he had in Minnesota. But outside of that, there's a few options on the table. I've even heard Marcus Mariota's name, which doesn't move the needle at all for me. But, okay, right? I mean, there's easy to kind of tie them together because Chip Kelly's now the offensive coordinator, and, he had a small relationship with him at Oregon. So there's a lot of different questions that need to be answered, and that's part of the situation when it comes to Max and him, right? He wants to know the answers to those questions before basically guys like me know the answer to that question.
Q, let me ask you about Pete Carroll. I mean, I don't want to say I was stunned to see him make a return back to the league. 73, 74 years old. I mean, he's going to be one of the oldest, if not the oldest coach in the NFL. How do you maybe have a conversation about where the Raiders believe they are based on the type of coach that they went out and hired? And you would think that, Pete Carroll's not signing on to, go through some sort of big rebuild. It feels like they think they're close enough. Let's go with a veteran coach, maybe help us get the culture right, figure the quarterback out, and we're kind of moving. And listen, he has surrounded himself, Q, with, I think, a really strong coaching staff, which I don't think was ever going to be a question with Pete Carroll. I guess the question for me is it right coach, right time? Does it feel that way?
It does feel that way because the organization wasn't stable, and I think that Pete Carroll brings you that stability, right? I mean, there's been a coaching carousel year after year. I've been in Vegas since 2021, and they went through Gruden, Bisaccia, McDaniels, Pierce, and now Carroll. And that was 2021. It's only 2025. So you could tell the math doesn't math there, right? I mean, it's not working out. So they are an unstable organization, and now they have stability with Pete Carroll, who's been there, done that. We know that, he knows how to build it. We've seen it. I mean, the evidence is there. It's not just, I think that he's going to get it right, or he could get it right. No, we've seen him do it, not only at USC, but also in Seattle. So that's the confidence there. Then you bring in a GM like John Spytek, who, has a lot of respect around the league as an assistant there in Tampa Bay, plus also helping build the organization there in Denver as well, winning Super Bowls in both locations. So a guy that's very well respected, where I'm here on Media Row in New Orleans right now, everyone I've talked to has said, man, it's a long time coming for him to get that GM job, so he's going to do a really good job. So there's a little bit of excitement, a little bit of buzz. I just try to be cautiously optimistic, only because I've had a little bit of excitement, a little bit of buzz before, and apparently it was just the times in Las Vegas, and not really what they were putting together in Las Vegas as far as the organization goes.
Q Myers on the Raiders. A couple more. What kind of excitement? I guess how much of that comes from Tom Brady credibility? Like, what is his day to day, and what's the belief on his influence in what they're doing?
Yeah, that's part of it as well, and he brings credibility to the organization, right? I mean, so Pete Carroll brings stability, Tom Brady brings credibility, and there was a time when, Ben Johnson was the hottest name out there, and he ends up going to Chicago. The Raiders actually got an interview with him, and there was never a chance that they were going to get an interview with him, and they actually told the Raiders, don't request us. And Tom Brady said, hold on, let me get on the phone with your agent, and then talk to him for like an hour. And all of a sudden, boom, they get an interview. Now, again, he ended up choosing the Bears. That's fine. But because Tom Brady's requesting you, because Tom Brady's suggesting you, John Spytek, he has a relationship with Tom Brady going back to Michigan. They played together. Also, he was there in Tampa Bay with them, and so he knows how Tom Brady wants things done. It's funny that he's a minority owner, but he's got like a major thumbprint on what's going to happen with this organization moving forward. Mark Davis has said, I know what I don't know. I don't know football, so I need football guys to do that. So I think that there's a lot of credibility with Tom Brady now.
Before we let you go, Q, just on Crosby himself, Maxx Crosby, because, Bills fans might be maybe more likely, or any fan might be a little more likely to know Myles Garrett. He's a defensive player of the year. But Crosby is, a top-tier defensive end and edge rusher. He's got a relationship with Mahomes that Bills fans would probably like, in that the two of them get after one another. And I was just checking the NFL Top 100, because I know Garrett is like the best defensive player in football. And here's Maxx Crosby, ranked by players last year, number 10. Like, this is an elite player.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He's absolutely an elite player. I feel like he should have been in bigger conversations for Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. He's able to get after the quarterback. He's able to stop the run, and he's a guy that doesn't come off the field. I mean, in 5 years or so, he's only missed 5 games, and that was this past year because he got rolled up on a couple times on his ankle this year. So, yeah, he's a phenomenal player. He gives you everything he's got each and every time he's out there. He's that guy that's got that pulse in the locker room. He would be incredible in Buffalo, and I know the Bills fans would love to be seeing him chasing around Patrick Mahomes, and he would too, but I honestly don't believe that he's going to end up going anywhere. I think the Raiders will find a way to work out his contract and make him happy.
All right, very good. Q Myers on the Raiders from New Orleans. Enjoy the game Sunday.
I will. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, there. Q Myers of Raider Nation Radio, Locked On Raiders.